Hi there, welcome to the latest of my lives, and this one's a bit rotten, to be honest with you. I was editing some stuff, putting some stuff online, and news started coming through about Charlie Kirk doing one of his famous talks at a campus where a shooter has shot him. Man has been apprehended. Looks like the alleged assailant is an elderly man, and some of the graphic shots we've seen of it are quite frankly horrific. Now, if this man is not pronounced dead as yet, which is not any official word, I have had some messages come through some group chats I'm in, which is full of podcasters and things. And the first shot I will show, it's from a fair distance away, and the second one I'm not going to put up because I just think it's so horrific. Can't imagine how any YouTube would allow it to stay up. So I'm not going to show that, but I think a lot of people will be getting sent them on WhatsApp groups and things and messages offline, and it is absolutely horrific when you see the video footage from just off the stage. If you bear with me 1 second, I'm going to share, I think, is a safe bit of footage to share, and this is from Basil's timeline. Basil is just about to join us. He'll be coming in. He's been all over this story and may know more than most. So I'm just going to share something from his timeline. So I'm just going to show you something for Basil's timeline, then I'm going to bring Basil up to share up things here. This is one of the safest ones to show online, social media. Take a wee bit of time. I'll just close that.
Oh my God. Go, run. Oh. Oh my God. Go, run.
So that was quite horrific. That was from a fair distance. And Basil, how are you? Thanks for joining.
Obviously,
can you hear me okay, Basil?
Same as everyone. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, obviously I'm
the first time I showed your video.
Yeah, I was just saying obviously
I showed you a video there. I'm showing you the video that you'd put up, your video. Quite horrific, and that's the one that I'm prepared to share. The other one that was closer to the stage, I kind of think it would probably not be wise to put that on a social media platform. It probably would get anything showing it pulled down. I'm just watching my phones here. I'm getting almost constant messages coming in from people where a lot of the YouTubers and stuff are in group chats and stuff, so I'm quite busy. And there's people in America who are in the community who are close to Charlie, are actually in some of the group chats I'm in, and it's not great for me. But this is the video. Is that not playing? Can you see that? And it looked there that the shot came from the right hand side there, Basil. But I think since we've seen more footage come in, it's probably safe to say that's not what happened. I take it you've seen the one that's from closer range?
Yeah, I have. I've actually posted it if anyone wants to see it. Yeah, there seems to be a delay, Craig, when I'm talking. I'm not sure why there's a delay, but it seems to be delayed. But anyway, we'll make it work. I basically have I posted the original the clip that was up close. Look, I understand why people don't like to do that. I get why it is. I take a different view. I think that the visceral truth needs to always be out there, and I understand that. And by the way, I'm not disagreeing with people who think otherwise. Right, each to their own. Okay. But I was shocked and horrified by it. Now, in terms of what's actually gone on, what I will say is there's an awful lot of people right now who are speculating an awful lot of different things. So I've seen reports that he sadly passed away. I've also seen reports saying that he's fighting for his life. I've seen reports saying that the shooter was actually a lot closer than what people think. I've seen reports saying that he was over 200 yards away. What I can say for definite is Charlie Kirk is getting hit by a bullet that was shot by a guy who looks to be of a boomer generation. Maybe looks like he was in his 60s, maybe he's even later. The guy's been dragged away with his pants around his ankles. I don't know why that's happened. As he was dragged away, obviously people were berating him and calling him all sorts of stuff and just horrified and outraged and all the rest of it. And then some people say he's confirmed dead. I've had a look, I'm not sure, but I hope it's not the case. Also, the thing I have seen is that the shot was in his neck, and it looks like it's taken a massive a chunk out of his neck, which, if anybody with any experience of shooting, etc., will know, and I've been told multiple times that is a very, very tough wound to come back from. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just flicking up some of the things that are getting sent into the chat here, and there's in the space of 3 comments, he's dead, he's alive, he's critical. As soon as we get anything confirmed, we'll obviously share it. I'm just thinking, why does this happen? I mean, that's a guy that does what a lot of us do. He talks about things that are difficult topics, and somebody thinks it's okay to actually point a gun and press that trigger. So the outcome, I hope the outcome is a positive. Unfortunately, I can't see it just with that video that I'm not going to put up, the one from close. I don't think there's any chance that's anything other than life-threatening at best. And it's just like, what are we doing? What sort of place are we when we even, somebody thinks that's acceptable because a guy's got different views from you in a democratic society? Where do we finish?
Well, here's where I look at it, right? I think that you've got to look at the environment in which this goes on. Now, look, I'm one of those people who refuse to take the vast majority of the blame away from responsibility for their actions. People can get wound up about all sorts of things, right? We can all get triggered by different things. The point is, you're not supposed to actually go out there and pull a trigger. But what increases the chances of something like this happening? Well, obviously in America, they do have guns, firearms. This is one of the reasons why I'm against having firearms in this country. While at times I've sat there and thought, we'd all be a lot safer. We could be safer. We might not be, etc. You've got to remember that even if someone turns around and says, a good guy with a gun can stop a bad guy with a gun, the bad guy with a gun tends to shoot first. And in this case, he might have killed a very good man. As for the toxicity that encourages that behaviour, though, I think the mainstream media have to take a lot of the flack for this, and also the left, because the liberal left, or the liberals as they call themselves in America, those people, the online liberal media I'm talking about here, the Young Turks and people like that, who have for a decade completely slandered much of what Charlie Kirk says and does, bastardized what he said, made him out to be some sort of danger. He is a threat to American college campuses, the propaganda he spews, all the rest of it. This sort of rhetoric is what encourages this sort of behavior. And I'm not blaming those people for him being shot. I am not. But what I am blaming is those people to whip other people up into a frenzy of hatred against a man who, as far as I can tell, was just a conservative who spoke to kids on college campuses. So when you look at the state of political discourse in not just America, but in this country as well, I mean, look tonight, right? MSNBC, that is a left-wing outfit, but it is of the mainstream media. It's supposed to have standards. This is not, no offense, Craig, but, you know, a YouTube show or something like that, right? This is a professional outfit that is broadcast all across America. And tonight, they were saying things like, well, how do we know it wasn't just one of Charlie Kirk's fans who shot a gun off in celebration? I mean, come on. You've got, obviously, many outlets already that have basically done themselves no favors. Earlier this week, where we had the murder of that Ukrainian refugee on a train in America, and you know, and they avoided that story because of a political bias. And again, it just keeps going round and round and round. The truth is, we now have a media in both of our countries, America and Britain, the United Kingdom, sorry, where they don't really care that much about the truth. They care about putting their angle out, and they don't care how much they smear or destroy or ruin people's reputations in the process. And like I say, as a result, this ends up with people saying, yeah, I'm going to go out there and do something absolutely horrific today. Again, just to be clear, I am not blaming the mainstream media outlets or any other media outlet for Charlie Kirk's being shot today. But what I am saying is they do encourage this level of toxicity, and it's horrific.
Oh, yeah, as James has said there, MSM have been calling Charlie a white supremacist, a Nazi, a fascist. They have blood on their hands, and you know that's
Absolutely.
kind of where we're at. As I've been saying for a while, it's a narrative that's taken. You know, particularly I've been quite active with the protests up here in recent months, and I first noticed it when I went to Ballymena. It's, you know, you do something, that's you, you're far right, you're a fascist, you're a racist, you're this, and people get upset. People get upset, the ones that are getting called that, but it also can trigger other people. And we need to change the narrative. And if this isn't a testament to that, then I don't know what is. We're going to see blood in the streets of Britain with this narrative as well. Because either somebody will take, oh, look what they've done to Charlie Kirk, I think I'll do that. You've got a copycat. Or the people who are being told they're far right and they're racists and they're all these things, then they'll start getting more upset and protests might turn to violence. And it's just bonkers, absolutely bonkers. And this is just horrific, mate. It's just...
Craig, just think about how many times you listen. I know you, Craig, right? As I know your political beliefs. We speak of politics an awful lot, right? And I know your beliefs are what I would say is probably small c conservative, loyalist, patriots, right?
Aye, and see this small c conservative. I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day. I kind of hate using that term because that should be default. In a public society, that's a default setting, isn't it?
It would be, yes.
Give the people coming up a better world than the one you inherited. That should be default.
But what my point is that I wouldn't say your views were particularly radical, right? I wouldn't say they were particularly far right, dangerous. But how many times have you been called a Nazi, a fascist, far right, every single day? And that's what goes on. It's every single day. They turn around and say things like this to yourself, a budding politician who's standing for election. And again, people don't care. They're just like, listen, I'll call him a fascist and a far right and Nazi and all the rest of it. And whatever happens to him happens, when it's not even true. And again, this is why it's led to Charlie Kirk being shot today, because somebody out there...
Can I just tell you, Basil, a newspaper made out that I had somehow. If you read the newspaper article when I got arrested and charged, you could read it as me having physically abused a woman of colour, right?
Yeah.
Now, 24 hours later, I'm in Glasgow and I'm picking up a pizza, and I came out the shop to get a puff in my vape and look at my phone. And there was 4 or 5 people walking past me that were of colour. And I'm looking going, I wonder if they've read that paper about me.
Yeah.
And you go, well, where does that stop? And that was complete. I can't talk about it right now, but I will be at some point soon. And people print lies about you in national newspapers in Scotland. This isn't unique to America. I think it's worse there. And obviously he's a massive high profile. I'm a 1 out of 10 compared to his 100 out of 10. But I've had the same in this country in the last matter of months. The papers writing, I think I've had 3 or 4 pieces written, not even before I get arrested and charged, calling me a far-right racist in national newspapers in Scotland. For doing what? One of them was for going to Paisley and making a video outside a care home where the local residents were scared that it was getting turned into an asylum home. I went out and reported on that. And then next week, there was a piece done. The councils obviously in Paisley. I'm allowed to talk about them, right? They were all chipping in with, how much a racist I was and all that nonsense. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And this, we need to take lessons. Whatever happens to this poor lad, and I think I'm hoping beyond hope that he pulls through this if he's not already passed away. But I hope upon hope that he can pull through. But regardless of what happens, this incident has to have changes. We had that horrible murder, that white girl on the train. Was that yesterday or the day before? I've kind of lost track. And this today. Thing. Does it matter? They're only white.
When I see
I lost it.
Some of the reactions online, it disgusts me. I mean, the only word I can use is disgust, because it's like it's okay. It's looked as if it's okay. This is just collateral damage. Do you know what I mean? And by the way, you mentioned the word white. I mean, obviously that guy, was his name Carlos de Brown or something? De Carlos Brown. But do you know what? You're putting these comments up. This goes to show how insane the situation is, because people are saying critical but stable, dead, all the rest of it. Thanks for that, Hazel. I don't know if that's true, and I'll have to have a look. But anyway, like I say, there's just, I mean, it's awful, and again, sadly, it's the state of the world right now, where it's just, let's destroy your opponents, however you can. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter how badly you talk about them. It doesn't matter what you drive other people to do. It's collateral damage, and it's seen as an out. And you've got to remember, right? What was his name? George Floyd, right? When he was killed by that police officer, right? And when he was killed by him, it turned out that the whole of the Western world, basically, wherever those black communities live in, they rose up in riots under Black Lives Matter. But you see that girl who died the other day, she was murdered, wasn't she, on that train? The mainstream media downplayed that completely. Didn't even mention it for a long time until they were forced to, because they wanted it to go away. And Charlie Kirk today, go and look at the comment sections. Go and look at what people are saying about this. It's absolutely insane to me, the way some people respond to these kind of things. Just as a human being, just on a human level, to turn around and say, you know what, Charlie, I've seen them. I'm not going to repeat them, but I've seen them. Right? I've seen them. The comments are horrible. And it's because they just see it as it's us v them. And we don't all share this country, and we don't just have disagreements. They look at it as we are the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awful. It's really awful and tragic. And obviously he's that's just forget about his politics. That's a man with a family, 2 young bairns, and a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible.
Somebody's saying that Fox News have reported an update, so I don't want to say what it is. Just where is Fox News? That's Fox News. So we'll get the latest from Fox, and 12 minutes ago, support was in, remains hospitalised. It's the latest I can see from them. Let's just refresh that, see if there's anything else come in from there. But no, latest 12 minutes ago. Horrific. Now, the guy that apparently was arrested, is it somebody suggesting that wasn't the shooter?
Yeah, I've edited my post to just say as he is arrested and not Charlie Kirk shooter. I don't know. I'm just going off what the comments are saying here. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how the mainstream media would know for definite this early on who shot who. I genuinely don't know. I mean, how would the police know this early on that? I just don't know. But aye. So, look, let's wait and see. There's a lot of people posting now Charlie Kirk is alive and fighting in hospital for his life. Yeah. Oh my God. Just absolutely.
No, you've seen that video, yeah? The one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to show it because it's just too horrific. I'm guessing this is the one that we've seen before. They've even blanked that out, and that was probably one of the weaker ones that we've seen tonight. But it's there's none of them saying shot in the neck. How can you be shot near the neck? It was bloody shot through the neck. It was as clear as day. They say he fell from his chair. An evacuation. The campus was initiated. Governor Gavin Newsom publicly denounced the shooting of Conservative activists. Political figures both sides condemn. And authorities confirmed Charlie Kirk. I don't think we kind of needed that. So I don't know why that's even a thing that somebody's daughter was there and what. Who cares?
It's Glenn Beck's children, I think, were there, weren't they? That's what they were saying. Yeah. He's just another Conservative commentator, but yeah.
Aye, it's and what.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stay on it for a bit just to get any confirmation. I mean, we're all hearing rumours from, as you've seen there, in the space of 3 different posts, there's 3 different claims of his condition. Greg gives another video taken from the right which shows he was shot just behind the right ear. I've seen one that was really close up, bumpy, and you could see the blood coming out the left hand side of him. I ain't going to put that up. It's quite horrific. Daz, you might know if you only get 3 notifications in 24 hours, Daz, so that might be why you'll not get that.
Sorry, what am I missing out on?
Somebody said they'd never get a notification they're alive, but you only get 3 notifications per day from YouTube.
Right.
So I put it's 3 in 24 hours. So if you had the one for yesterday live late, then 2 videos
right.
You might not get it.
I don't know how this newfangled YouTube works. I can never tell. I tell you what, though, right? The outpouring of grief. I mean, it just goes to show how respected and he was or is. So I say, and you know what? I just hope that he pulls through this. I mean, God knows, absolutely, God knows what's happening right now. But I just hope he pulls through this so badly, because to die, to be murdered like that, if he has been, I mean, it's just horrific. It's not even worth. It just brings about. I mean, you've got to remember. Let's bring it back to the UK, right? We've had 2 politicians, 2 MPs, 2 sitting members of Parliament murdered in the last 10 years in our country. You know, 2 sitting members of Parliament murdered, and it's just absolutely brutal. The level of violence some people will push on to people they don't like, and again, it comes from very, very unstable societies. You know,
getting an update here, Basil. The police, this is the Trump administration have put out a live update saying the police have determined that the person who was taken into custody after the shooting was not actually the shooter. According to Scott Trotter, a university spokesman, the university had earlier said a suspect was in custody, and videos online showed an elderly man being detained by police officers. Wow. I mean, you see these things, you put 2 and 2 together and you come up with, obviously, sometimes the right answer. But that man could have been, his trousers were down at one point, he could have been arrested for exposing himself just at the same event. That's maybe why that's happened, but that's I'm just going through some of my contacts here. And there's a couple of them they're in Turning Point. And somebody says live, says likes or something, I don't know. They're saying that he's dead. Please believe me, he's wrong. Listen, I've got 2 voice messages I'm going to list them, so I'm just going to mute my mic, Basil, if you want to say anything. These are people.
Yeah, no problem. Just if you want to have a read through. What I will say is this: with regards to the violence in the United States, obviously their issue is the Second Amendment, right? So guns change everything. And what I will say is that whatever you believe about the Second Amendment or not, there will be people who support it, who are against it, and there's a genuine debate to have there about your right to protect yourself. But it will always be used in an offensive way. And you've got to remember, even Charlie Kirk said himself that, having the Second Amendment, part of the downsides of that, but he said he was willing to pay it, is that sometimes people will be shot, right? He said that himself. So that is just a debate that is an absolute minefield to get into in terms of rights and all the rest of it. But what I can talk about is political toxicity. And like I said, the people who are driving this, who have the most responsibility to be better than what they are, is the mainstream media. They are horrific. And the things that they say, the way in which they channel the news to affect their political opponents as they see them. Radicalized by the media, Maxi, absolutely right. There are so many people out there who just do not care what they say about others, and they have a massive platform and a responsibility to be honest. I mean, honestly, even like me, I'm just an amateur guy on Twitter, right? It surprises me when people say they get the news from me. But even I take care with my words that I use to describe people in the round, because I don't go around calling people Nazis who don't deserve to be called Nazis, right? But you will get people on mainstream outlets with millions of views every single day who have no problem doing that. It's disgusting. And if you want to talk about real fascism, well, it's the people trying to shut down people like Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk is a fan of freedom of speech and debate. And he's given those kids an education and exposing them to ideas that they will not be taught in university campuses. Remember, the whole reason Charlie Kirk does this is because of the state of universities in America right now. And obviously that is the state of universities in the United Kingdom too. And that's a major problem as well. Craig, I don't know if you want to come back on that bit after you finish with me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going through a couple of group chats that I'm in with people in America and here, and people do, what I do, the YouTubers and stuff, and even they're contradicting each other. One thing I will say, regardless of how this plays out, if that man survives the shot that I seen, the close-up video, that is a bloody miracle. Here's a bit here. Authorities now confirming Charlie Kirk was shot at Utah University, but the suspect is still at large, according to police. That's just bonkers.
I don't know. Until I see official police reports, I'm not sure. In the aftermath of anything like this, you find that there's conflicting stories and all the rest of it. I don't know why they've arrested that guy. I don't know if he is the shooter or whatever. But what I do know is that if the police haven't found the shooter, obviously Utah will be on lockdown right now, and they'll be trying to find that guy. The campus itself. I mean, just remember as well, this took place at a college campus. These are school kids, right? And how are you getting near there with a gun? You know, it's scary, man. It's scary. Mm-hmm. And it's the fact that it can happen to anybody, just like that. So I'm going to go to my bed tonight.
Associated Press, mate. 2 minutes ago, just in person taken into custody after Charlie Kirk was shot in Utah is not believed to be the shooting suspect.
Yeah.
You know, that's a decent source. Anything here? There's photos of chaos with people at the scene. There he is. It looks as if that was tonight. Associated Press. It's not stupid doing that. So yeah, I think a lot of people need to have a good look at themselves tonight, because this is driven by a media narrative, and actually a lot of people in society. It's not just the media. We've got establishment that just do the same. We've got police forces, judiciary, and I'm not talking about just here, right, across the world, that just buy into this narrative that if you're one side of politics, you're bad and use any language at all. I mean, what is the worst slur, right, that anybody in the media or our establishment would have ever flung at anybody who is viewed as left of centre? What is it? What's the worst thing they say about them, Basil?
Communist. I think that's the worst slur we use on them. Woke. Stupid. I mean, look, when it comes down to slagging off the left, we're both pretty seasoned in doing it. But again, when it comes, we do it based on their ideas. I mean, look, when was the last time we heard about probably a bad example in this country, because obviously violence in this country is different to America because you've got guns and stuff. But look, we would always do it. I mean, Charlie Kirk did it on the grounds of debate. It should always be about debate. Speaking is not violence. These people who are pushing this stuff, and it's a specific section of the left, but it's taken over a large part of it. They are insane. The idea that, you know, the people who say that basically speech is violence, hate speech, all this rubbish, that we have to just shut everyone down we don't agree with, because then they're not exposed to other ideas. They live in bubbles and they insist that everybody else lives in their bubble with them. And then when they do hear ideas that they don't like or are not used to hearing other ideas, they lash out, because to them, this is the worst thing in the world, because they're discovering this for the first time. Oh my God, someone has said something I don't agree with. And then they'll protest, or they'll get violent, and they'll get angsty because they can't control their emotions, because they've been babied their entire lives. And that's what it is. They grow up in a school that has left-wing propaganda in it. They watch left-wing propaganda on TV in the mainstream media. They go to university, college, it's the same. They then go out into the working world, and they discover for the first time that there's people who don't agree with them, and they lash out because they can't handle it, because they've never been brought up in an environment where they can hear different ideas and understand that it's not acceptable to lose your mind over this stuff. You have to stay rational when you're debating someone. And that's why we end up here today.
Mm-hmm. Am I being stupid thinking this will be a wake-up call that a lot of people need?
I don't think anything will change, because I've seen countless shootings in America. and nothing changes. And honestly, I think the media will just get worse. I don't think they'll care. When you saw, I mean, Craig, look, we haven't seen the fallout from the Charlie Kirk incident yet, right? Because it's just happened, right? But let's take a look at what happened with that Ukrainian girl just last week, right? The mainstream media ignored it. They ignored it for so long. And then as soon as they had to start talking about it, because everyone was asking, why are you not talking about this? They started downplaying it. This man might have had mental health problems. You've got to understand that these people, they've got problems themselves. Who knows what he's been going through? All of this stuff, this insanity that is seen as a case of, well, listen, if it's somebody who we perceive as our agenda, it's not a problem. Whereas as well as I do, as well as I'm sure most of the comment section knows, if the races were flipped around and that incident had happened, there will be riots across the United States right now. There'd probably be protests planned for London this weekend about that, if that was the other way around. So again, I just sit there and go, we live in a very, very propagandized world where the truth doesn't matter. What matters is what team you're on. And that's the way so many of them see it.
Aye, there's some stuff coming from his own people, saying that he is at hospital, but it doesn't look good. I think that's probably the safest line just now. That he may still be alive right this second, but you don't know his personal details. I mean, if that poor guy had died on the spot, the last people that need to know are the public. There's a lot of people need to know before that. So it would make sense that can I see this Truth Finder? I've seen S. Williams writing Mayhar location twice. May you please look at comments and delete if necessary. If you can see them, Truth Finder, and tell me what time they were posted, I can go back in chronological order. But yeah, you know what I mean? We all want to know, but there's some people need to know his position right now, and if God forbid he was to have passed away, then we rightly should be the last people to know. We don't know where his family are at this point. They might be out of town, they might be difficult to get hold of, who knows? So, I think it's probably for the best. That's what we're hearing. I'm just trying to find Jesus Williams.
Like I say tonight, I'll be thinking. I mean, I can't help but think of his family. Honestly, it must be horrific. It must be absolutely horrific. And I just hope to God he pulls through. I really do. And so, it's awful, but let's hope he recovers from this, and lessons are learned regardless of the outcome. It's just brutal, man. It's just awful. I'm just watching the video again there now. It's absolutely awful.
Yeah, I just got sent a video there and I thought it was a different one, and it wasn't. It's the one I've not put up. And you're like, absolutely sickening. James, do you ever wish you never got into this at all? Joking, obviously. Sometimes I do, actually. And it's not a safety thing, right? It's not because what happened tonight. It's because I've only been really involved in this sort of thing with politics since November 2023. And I'm a quick learner. And I now know more things than I did pre-November 2023, how the world works and operates and stuff. And from that point, then yeah, I kind of sometimes do wish I'd never get involved, if I'm perfectly honest with you. And you're right, this is an utter madness and clearly getting worse by the day. But I do know I am involved. Anybody that knows me of old, when the fight's needing some participants, then let's do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, do you ever wish you never got into all this? I'm joking, obviously this world is utter madness and getting worse by the day. There's times I wish you never got into it. I've got to be honest with you, because I sit there and think, you know what, you could have had a much easier life, you know, than not doing this, because it's just madness. It's so insane the way people will.
Could Truth Fighter, what are saying? Could Truth Fighter do me a favour? Going to put the time of the last time you done a comment on it, and I'll sort that out if you don't mind. Sorry.
I'm not sure what that means, but I just look at politicians and how dangerous it is these days to be one, and how, like I say, destructive you're not just your opposition, but often people who claim to be on your side of the debate can be. It's just, I don't care. I will just destroy you anywhere I can. And it's just madness to me. I just cannot understand how people can treat other people that way. It's fucking mental.
People are not nice, mate.
No.
I kind of live in the hope that you know, it's still the minority, right? So, you know, I still hold on to that belief. But I might be wrong. I'd rather believe that the majority of people are kind and, you know, not evil and horrible.
Yeah. It's just madness, mate. It's absolute madness. And I don't know how else to look at it, or to, you know, I just don't know what else to think about it. It's just insane to me. Like I said, the way that, and by the way, this will not be the last big shooting we see. Even, you know, I was just saying our lifetime, certainly not, but even the next few years, there will be others that will come, and there'll be deaths in this country and everywhere else as well, because of how angry and unstable our countries are now. Oh my God, Piers Morgan's reported that he's died. Oh, Jesus.
I think it was inevitable after that.
Fucking hell.
Who's said that? Piers Morgan?
Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan.
Is that on Twitter, mate?
Ah, it's on Twitter, mate.
I'll try and get this. Right, why is it not? I need to get myself a computer for this stuff.
Aye. I'm sorry, mate. I'm going to have to...
Here's mine.
I can't... Yeah. This is just awful.
There we go, 3 minutes ago. Breaking news, consecutive commentator Charlie Kirk, 31, has died after being shot in an event in Utah and upon assault on free speech and democracy. Charlie always welcomed debate with anyone. This is disgusting and heartbreaking. Rest in peace, Charlie. 36 minutes ago, he was alive and fighting in hospital. I kind of think that might not have been what's happened. It's just the way people need to report things, that he may have died half an hour ago, and people... you know, just get loved ones that deserve to know before anybody else. So, what happens next? What happens next? Do we just go, all right, okay, nothing changes? Do we, you know?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I just... it's just heartbreaking, mate. It's absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, he's 31. Guy's younger than me. Do you know what I mean? And he's got like a wife and kids and that. And he's just had his life taken away from him. Fucking brutal, man. Just absolutely brutal beyond belief. What comes next? I don't know. I hope there's a backlash. I hope, like I say, the mainstream media outlets that we spoke about earlier, I hope they pay a price for some of the stuff they've done. I hope many of the liberal left, such as, I won't say them, but I hope they pay a price. I hope they have a few sleepless nights thinking about what they've done. And I hope some of the people who are writing about them in negative ways right now, I'll not say anything. Look, I can't say the words I want to, Craig. I'm very, very angry and upset right now about this. Yeah.
I bet I've not been on Twitter much. I wasn't on before we came live. I've been on a wee couple of times, slowing up and down while I've been on. But I guarantee there's some really sad people saying some really sick things, you know what I mean?
Aye.
Have you seen this as well? Apparently Trump has mentioned he's passed away, but
I haven't seen it. I've had a look. I couldn't see it. Yeah, Trump's, but the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he's no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you.
what is that? Is that not showing you his posts? Is he still getting this shadow ban off?
No idea.
There's some things, weird things happening with Trump's posts.
No idea.
No, this is his real one. 108 million. No? Bit weird. Well, unfortunately, I kind of think that's really it, isn't it? It's confirmed. I don't think we're going to need any more confirmation than what we've already got.
I just
It's absolutely nuts. Oh, God.
Choked up, mate. It's just brutal. It's brutal beyond belief. 31 years old. And he was shot down in cold blood because he debated with students.
Oh,
Horrific.
God.
Absolutely horrific.
It is. I just want to show this before I consider maybe just run out, because I kind of don't know where else we can go to after this. But this is this boy's last ever tweet.
On August 22nd, Irina Zarutska was stabbed to death on the rail system in Charlotte, North Carolina, by a savage career criminal.
Her life story, I think, will be told both in the United States and Ukraine for years to come. What do you think the importance of this story?
Senseless murders I've ever seen. She had no interaction with this guy whatsoever. She was sitting minding her own business, and he just takes out a knife and just decides to stab her. I do say this with some form of just heaviness. I don't like politicizing situations like this, but it just necessitates it because there are so many dynamics at play here. Based on the information evidence we have, the attacker did say, "I got that white girl." The attacker racialized it in his own telling of this situation. And we all know this. Any honest observer of your program knows this, including Van Jones even knows this deep down, which is that Of course, if a random white person on a subway took out a knife and stabbed a black girl senselessly to death, there would be massive media coverage. There would be policy changes. There would be people having to apologize for this. We saw this in George Floyd, and yet, for whatever reason, this situation has not garnered even a fraction of that kind of outrage or backlash.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
His last ever tweet. 3 years ago. 3 years ago, that guy's sitting probably in the campus, just about to go and start doing his talk. And he's tweeting because he's sad that somebody else has been murdered. And he doesn't make it home tonight.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrific. I kind of don't know what to say.
Neither do I, mate. Do you want to wrap it up there?
Yeah, I think we will. You could sit here all night and just repeat yourself. Unfortunately, I was just wanting to keep people up to pace as news was developing in this story, but unfortunately it's came to a conclusion that we kind of expected. I think anybody that's seen that video, the close-up one, how that guy, everybody was shocked and stunned. I thought, man, made it off that stage alive. Never mind getting to a hospital, but two horrible bits of news that he's been shot and now he's dead. Crazy stories that, you know, we all thought the guy that shot him was getting dragged away with the police. Turns out he was getting arrested for something else. And apparently the person shot him in front of all these people in a campus where you would kind of think there would be security. I mean, he's no Donald Trump, so he's not got the level of security he's got. But just mental. You know what I mean? Go and speak at an event and somebody shoots you. Pretty bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's some strange people having some strange conversations and some strange petty arguments about stuff that's not really that relevant in the comments, so I can't be bothered with that shit anymore. So we're just going to, I think we'll just wrap it up. So don't know how to wrap this up other than say, just obviously the guy that I didn't know, but always admired him. I was watching it, we spoke about this before we came on, Basil, that you were saying Charlie Kirk. I went, oh God, I was watching a video of him today and somebody was challenging him. It's actually funny. The guy was saying about, he was asking him, how often do you update your Wikipedia page? And he was like, I don't think I have. I've tried it once, it didn't work, something like that. He's like, why? And he's like, oh, it's inaccurate. In terms of lies, it says you're 6'5". And I thought, that can't be right. It must be wrong. He says, yeah, that's right. I'm 6'5". He stood up. He's like a giant. That was just today. A guy that I think he was outstanding what he'd done. He was a great speaker. He was a great debater. I don't think I ever heard him raise his voice. I don't think I ever heard him speak derogatory to anybody that did they start being derogatory to him. And he died because of it at 31 years of age with 2 kids. The world has gone mental. And genuinely, if this is not a wake-up call to certain people in our society, it never will be. And I just hope and pray that it's the last we see. Got a big event tomorrow on Saturday in the UK about free speech, and I hope everybody gets there and gets home safely. But somebody that's holding that event once told me, this is a hill we need to die on. We need to die on it. And that is free speech. I know his words on me tonight. That was Tommy Robinson said to me weeks ago about my own situation, and said, this is my thing's a free speech thing, his thing's a free speech thing, Charlie's thing's a free speech thing. And this is a hill we need to die on, and so be it. And there's a guy died in the hill tonight. And it's just ridiculous. So sorry we got to the conclusion that we all expected. God bless him and his family, and I hope something positive can come for his horrific death. Because if nothing good can come to this, if nothing can be positive in the months to follow, then this world's a sadder place than I first thought. So everybody be safe. Cheerio, bye now.